Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lauren. I used to be a librarian and now I talk about books on the internet. And today we're talking about my February wrap-up. So yeah, I have Invisaligns and they make me lisp. We're just rolling with it until July, okay? I don't want to hear it. I know I talk weird, but my smile's gonna look so cute. So today's video is going to be like a two-parter. First we're going to talk about my February stats, and I'm going to try and put some really cute little graphs up in the corner so we can talk about my stats for the month, and then we will kind of rapid fire my books that I read. So for the month of February, the shortest month of the year, I read Taylor Swift's lucky number amount of books. So I read a total of 13 books, which came out to be 5,040 pages. That's so much. My average rating was a 4.5. And I will say, I don't know if I was heavy-handed with 5-star reads, or if I was just picking really good books. I'm not really sure. Was I generous, or are these generally actually good books? I don't know. But I had a lot of 5 stars. So my highest rated books, 2 of them I have physically here. So my highest rated books were Quicksilver, Fear the Flames, and an arc that I read called Air of Illusion. That comes out later in March, so definitely look out for that. The average length of my books was 378 pages, and I think this one is not accurate. It says the average time to finish books was 11 days. I think that just means that I averagely did not log my books very well. So I'm getting these stats from Storygraph. They make a really great monthly wrap-up, like, what is this called? Like a summary graphic type thing. It's fantastic, and it's why I love Storygraph. I'm trying to get better at recording when I start a book and when I end it, and like having the dates actually be real, so that that average time to finish can be more accurate and all of that. But hey, it's a goal. It's a goal for 2025. Let's see, 85% of what I read was fiction, 15% was nonfiction. My most read, I read 2 memoirs. Interesting. My most read genre was romance at, I guess that's 9 books. Second most read is fantasy at 6 books. Third most read is contemporary at 3 books. Then I had 2 historical books and 2 memoirs. Let's see. 77% of my books were print, 23% were digital. I don't know how accurate that is, because I don't know that I necessarily recorded the right version of my books, because I definitely listened to quite a few on audio. I mean, just looking here, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4.5 of these books were audio, and Air of Illusion was an ebook, actually, and the Dolly Parton, that was like 6. So I listened to a lot of audiobooks, and I don't think I physically read a whole lot. And then the graph with pages read, I also don't think is quite correct, because again, I didn't log what I was reading when quite consistently. So I want to get better at that, so that I don't know, so that graph looks better, because it makes it look like I read, what, 800 pages on the 2nd of February, which is totally possible, but I don't think that's true. Okay, so now into the books that I read in the month of February. So first we have The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner, and I did get this as an ARC from The Hive on NetGalley. And I rated this a 4.5. It looks like it releases on April 29th, 2025. So go me for reading an ARC before the book releases. Yeah. This is by the same author who wrote is it The Lost Apothecary? Yes. So her books are very historical in nature. And The Amalfi Curse is also historical. It has very pirates and witchcraft and adventure. I compared it to like if Josh Gates, the TV show, I don't know, please tell me you watch it because I love his TV shows. But he's like an adventurer, and he goes to all different places around the world to look for treasure, basically. So this book is like if Josh Gates and like the romance genre and some sort of historical book all got smushed together. It was a really good time. The physical copy is gorgeous, so I will be adding it to my physical TBR when it comes out. So excited. Next, I have this boy. I finished Onyx Storm. There's our side, our beautiful edges. I rated this a 3.5 stars. I'm continuing with the series and I'm having a good time. Is it my favorite series ever? No. Is it my favorite fantasy romance series? No. But I'm invested in these characters. I think the story is good enough to continue reading. And obviously I need to know what happens. I think a lot happened in this book. I think it was much better than Iron Flame and much more captivating. And the politics in the world got so much bigger in this book. So yeah, Onyx Storm. Next is one of my favorite books, my new favorite books. I liked it so much, I now own 2 copies of it. So next I read First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This is the Book of the Month version. This is the Walmart version. I am obsessed. B.K. Borison is now a new auto by author. This is so cute. It is Sleepless in Seattle. Yes. Meets like Baltimore. It is the cutest little rom-com. We have like a single parent with like a really cool co-parenting situation. We have sort of a grumpy radio show host. We have like, I would call that forced proximity, and he just, Aiden Valentine is so sweet. I loved this book. I tabbed, obviously. I had such a good time. Definitely read it. I want to reread it on audiobook because I think it'll be really good, because this is based on like a radio show type situation. So I think, and it has dual chapters, so you get the guy and the girl's perspective. So I think an audiobook would be excellent. Next I read The Lotus Shoes by Jane Yang. Again, I got this from The Hive as a ebook. On NetGalley, I rated it a 5 stars. It is a very historical type story about foot binding and Chinese like history and whatnot. I had a really good time reading it. I listened to it on audiobook, actually, not ebook. Audiobook. It is available now. Definitely check it out. Next, I have The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin. I listened to this on audiobook as a part of the like banned book club that is on Blue Sky. So that was last month's book, and I thought it was a really powerful audiobook, and I think it's very relatable for the times that we are in. So I would recommend it. I got it from the library. It was like a 2-hour audiobook, so it's a nice quick read, but definitely a very thought-provoking read. And I look forward to reading more James Baldwin in the future. I do have quite a bit of his books on my physical TBR, so I will be getting to them. Next, we have Dating and Dragons by Christy Boyce. This is a YA contemporary, I hate saying romance when it's a YA book, but it is YA contemporary romance. about two people. We have the girl, what's her name, Quinn. We have the girl Quinn, and her family moves, and so she has to start at a new school, and she falls in with this group of people who play D&D basically in like a Critical Role kind of way. They stream their games, and we have Logan, and he is a part of that team, and there is a rule that they are not allowed to date people who are playing in the D&D game because it just makes it messy, and they're trying to be like professional streamers. So they do end up having this relationship, obviously. It's really cute. I had a good time. This was 5 stars. Next, I decided I wanted to listen to a couple of the audiobooks that were nominated for Grammys. So I started with Dolly Parton's, and it's called Behind the Seams. The cover is so cute. I, again, listened to it on audiobook. I wish I had had the physical book to look at while I was reading it, because it basically goes through a lot of her iconic clothing choices throughout the years. And I just wish I had like the physical book so I could see the actual outfits without having to like look them up. On the audiobook, it is kind of like interview style. And so we have Dolly Parton and the moderator basically chatting through this book. I thought it was really well done. I had a good time. Definitely deserved the Grammy. Even though, I mean, Jimmy Carter deserved the Grammy, but it was very good. Next up, we have Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. This is a fantasy romance with dragons. I rated this a 5-star. And if we're being honest, I don't remember much about it at this point, because I read it I read it for a Romantasy-a-thon, so that was like literally last week, so I should remember, but I don't. So obviously it's a 5-star in the moment, but I do remember it's very like bookish, and there are dragons, and I listened to it on audiobook. And I'm going to read the next book. Okay, so next up we have Air of Illusion by Madeline Taylor. I got this as an ARC from the Nerd Fam, so thank you so much. And it comes out later in the end of March, so definitely look out for it. I gave it a 5-star. I read it on ebook. And it is more of a like urban feeling fantasy and a darker fantasy romance. There's an alliance between enemies, a weapon of untold power, and a bond that could rewrite fate. I had a good time with it. The female main character ends up in a relationship with a death type character, which is kind of fun. Next, I read Filthy Rich Fae by Geneva Lee. I listened to this on audiobook, and the edges are really pretty. I gave this a 3.5 star. It was fine. It's an urban setting story. It feels almost like Katie Roberts' is it Dark Olympus series, the one with Hades and Persephone. So it's about Kate Holloway, and she lives in this town where the Gage family, crime family, kind of like owns the whole town, and she gets wrapped up in them when her foster brother basically comes into the hospital and is not in good shape, so she trades her life for his, basically. It was a good time. Next we have Quicksilver. This book is now my personality. The hype is totally justified. She is a big book. She's a very big book. And there is quite a cliffhanger at the end. And I'm so excited to read the next book. And I physically read up to about here. And then I audiobook read the rest because I needed to do stuff and I couldn't just sit and read. So next go around, I'm definitely going to continue and listen to more of the audiobook because it was really good. It was really good. Next, I listened to the audiobook of That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. I gave it a 4 star. It was a silly, goofy time. I think the characters were really well developed, and it was just kind of funny, and it was enjoyable, and I will read the rest of the series. And finally, this is random, but I finished A Very Merry Bromance. This is probably what brought my average length of time to finish books rating down, because I started this in December. I was obsessed with the Romance Book Club series when it first came out, and I think as we have gone along in the series, I have lost interest as I have found other romance series that I like better. So this is a 3-star. It was fine. It was like, I enjoyed reading it, but it's not my favorite thing I've ever read. So there's that. So I think that's it. That is my February wrap up. Woo! So anyway, how did your reading go in February? If you made it to the end of the video, please feel free to leave like a heart emoji down in the comments, because it was February, the month of love. And otherwise, I will see you in March for my March wrap up. Well, like, I'll make videos before that, but my next wrap up will be for March.